Greetings to you. I am Dr. Mary Mwangi, and in this video, I'm going to show through demonstrating how a faculty member can put an exam in the ItsLearning platform. I will start by explaining that I'm going to be using an exam paper which has been moderated at the department level. So for you, the first step is to make sure that you are using the exam paper which was moderated by the examination board in your school, which would be looking somewhat like what you can see here on the screen. You see it has the examination identifier and the trimester and so on, and the number of hours that the exam is scheduled to take, and also the instructions for the exams have been looked at and confirmed to be accurate, and also the sections of the exam paper and the questions. So having this document makes it a lot easier for you to put the exam in the platform. So I've shown you that just so that you know where I'll be getting my questions from. After that, let me go on to get to the ItsLearning platform, and there is a different video which guides you on how to log into the ItsLearning platform. I assume you've already watched that before, and so I will not go into the details of how to get to the ItsLearning platform. So when you're in the platform, you will go to courses. You'll click on the course. You'll select the course where you want to put the exam in. And I'm going to scroll to the one where I want to put this exam. And I want to do this in the faculty orientation course. So you click on the course where you want to put the exam, and then you go to resources menu. When you click on that, you will select the folder where you want to put your exam in. For this case, I want to work with folder number 3, which is called examinations. And when you click on that folder, you'll see this add button, which falls under that folder. And when you click on it, then the platform takes you to another menu, which gives either elements which are either resources or activities. The examination is an activity that I want students to engage in. So I will select my options from here, and very specifically, I will pick on tests because that is where we put exams. So you select tests, and you will be given opportunity to title that exam. I will call this final exam. I'll call it final exam for orientation. And then the platform gives me space to put in description for the exam. And for this, I'm going to go back to my document, the one I just previously showed you, and I will pick the instructions and the explanations for this exam, which are already in that document. So I will copy that information, basically the cover page for your final exam, and I'll bring it to this space and I will paste it there. And that will give my students the instructions for that exam, all the details that are already approved. And then once you have done that, you click on Create Test. When that is done, the platform now allows me to get opportunity to add questions. So you will see this Add Questions button here where my cursor is. You click on that, and then it gives you alternative types of questions that you can add. At the different circumstances in your teaching, you probably might want to put either all kind of questions or multiple choice questions, open answer, fill in the blanks, or select from a list and so on. But for the purposes of the final exam that I'm uploading today, and for most final exams at ILU, they require open answer type of questions. So I will select open answer, and the platform gives me this space to put in my questions. So at this point, I'll go back to my examination document, and I will select my question 1 together with the instructions that are related to it. I will copy that. And this is what you would do. You go to your examination document, you copy, and then you paste that question in that space for question 1. Then you scroll down to put the examinations, the question details. You can see, for example, at the bottom here, it asks you to enter the score value. You will notice that this question this section has 20 marks, but it has 2 questions according to my examination paper. And so for this one, the question will carry 10 marks. So you enter the 10 marks, and because this is an open answer question, I'm not going to use the automatic assessments that the platform uses, but I want to use manual assessment. So I will click, or I will let that box remain checked, and then I will click Save and New. I'll click on Save and New because I'm going to be adding another question of the open answer type of question. So I'll click on that, and the platform gives you, or will give me, space to add another question of the same kind. So you go back to your document. This time you select question 2 together with, or your next question together with any instructions that you want to accompany that question. You copy that, get back to the platform, and paste the question, and you scroll to enter the score value. This question is also carrying 10 marks, and you click Save and New, because again, I'm clicking Save and New because my next question will be of also open answer questions. And I go to my document again. I pick the 3rd question, and the instructions that accompany that question. Come back to the platform and paste and enter the value for the question. I'm not touching the manual assessment because all these questions will require me to assess them myself. Then I click on Save and New. Now, this time I want to click on the word Save, just in case you make a mistake, and then I can show you what you would do. If you, for whatever reason, you clicked on Save, the platform will take you back to where you have a choice to select the questions. So you come back to that same add question button. You scroll to where it says open answer, and then you click on that. And now it gives you the same space to enter your questions. This time I'm entering question number 4. So I will go back to my document, select the question, come back to that space and paste the question. Scroll to enter the score value. Everything else remains the same. Enter the score value and click on Save. This time I'm clicking again on Save because I want to say something else. In case you have a paper, an exam which has different types of questions, then if your other question was a different kind other than open answer, then you will select the type that question, the category that question falls under, and you will proceed as we have done in the previous 4 questions. But my next question is also open answer. So I'll click on open answer and pick the question from my document. Come to the platform and paste the question. Scroll to enter the score value and save. Now look at the questions and see that, look at the questions and you will see that the questions are there and the marks for each question have been captured. Now, I have just noticed that I need to make an adjustment on the marks that I have put for the various questions. In section 2, I need section B, the questions were each carrying 20 marks. I want to edit. So I click on the question. It takes me back to where the question values are, and I scroll to the score value and I edit. You can edit if you find that you have made a mistake, and then you click save. Anytime you make any adjustments, you look for the save button and you save. I look at question 4. Again, there is an error. I want to correct that. I click on the question, scroll to the score value, because as you can see, it is scheduled to carry 20 marks, but I have put 10, so I edit. And the same with the third question. I have given it a value of 10, but the question indicates 20 marks, so I need to edit that. You click by clicking on it, then you scroll to where the score value space is, and you edit. And save. Now I look again at my questions to see whether everything is in order. question 1 carries 10, 2 10, and then the other 3 20 each, bringing a total of 60 for the exam, because this is a bachelor level exam. So I am happy with the way the questions look now. Now you go to the next level of now putting the settings. The first setting I would like to speak about is what is represented by this icon here. This icon gives you the chance to determine how the students will navigate through the questions. And when you click on it, you will see there are 3 options. One is forward only, another one is free navigation, and also the option to show all questions on one page. I would highly discourage showing questions on one page because it opens the paper to too much information at the same time and can make it prone to interference by other people or even the students themselves. So I would leave that unchecked. So you're left with 2 options, either free navigation or forward only. The forward only enables students to answer one question and question 1 completed before they can progress to the next. But option 2, which is free navigation, allows the students to skip questions and navigate back and forth. Now, because the paper that I am putting, and most of us might be putting questions in the platform where the students need to select. Anytime you require students to select from a list of questions, then you need to always pick free navigation so that they can read the question, go to the next, and go to the next, and determine which one they want to respond to. So for that reason, I've selected free navigation for this paper. Once you select it, then you need to click save so that that can be recorded in the platform. The next setting has to do with the order in which the questions will be displayed. When you click on this icon here, it gives you 2 options, either random order where the students will be able to access the questions in a way that is randomly generated so that students will not be seeing, if you have 5 students, they will not see question 1 as the first question for all of them. One may be seeing question 5 as question 1, another one will be seeing question 2, and so on. And this helps to prevent plagiarism. So it helps in that sense. The normal order of showing questions allows students to see, all the students will be seeing question 1 as question 1. And then they will all go to question 2 and so on. Now, the weakness with normal order is that students will be reading question 1 all together at the same time. And if you have students who are not honest, then they can call each other and say, can you help me with your understanding of question 1, or whatever other kind of support they might want to get from one another. Now, when you have random question, you eliminate that kind of assistance. And for my exam here, I would also choose a random order. I would not go with the normal. So decide what level of security you want for your exam, and then select the method that the order that you feel will best serve to increase the integrity of that exam. So I'll pick random order and save. Now, having done that, the last part will be to edit the options go to the edit options section. And this is where the first thing we do is to establish the visibility. And this basically means that you schedule the time and date when you want the exam to be visible to students. So you click on the add scheduled visibility to set up the date and the time when the exam will be visible. For the purposes of this demonstration, I want to assume that the exam will be done in November on the 17th. And I assume, because perhaps I've been meeting these students at 2 p.m., I'll schedule the exam at 2 p.m. and it will be visible I want it to be visible to students until the same day, 17th of November. And the exam is taking 2 hours. So I want it to be available until 4:30, just in case some students will take time to log in, or I myself might need to give them instructions when we start, verbal instructions before they open the exam. So I give them 2.5 hours, although I know the exam will run out after 2 hours. But for those administrative purposes, I'll give it 2.5 in the platform. The deadline, you can put the deadline. I may want to ensure that the exam will not be visible after the time that it is scheduled. So I'll give it the deadline of I'll make it visible until the deadline to be at 4:20. Another setting that you need to pay attention to is where the assignment, the exam is, who the exam is assigned to. You can change at this point if you want to assign it to a particular group of students. But in this case, I want the exam available to all the participants. So I will not change that. But if you click on the word change here, it will give you who you can choose. But at this point, I'm not going to do that. Then the other setting you need to put in place has to do with the assessment. When you click on the button for choosing assessment scale, you will notice that it gives you a number of options. But this is a final exam where I want to be able to read every response and put a score myself. So I will choose the score option. And when you select that, it asks you to indicate the maximum score that any student can get from this paper. And I know that I want to grade this exam out of 60, so that's the maximum score that students will get. And then you need to identify and state the number of attempts that you want students to have at this paper. And for a final exam, it is always once. So you select one, and then it asks you, the platform asks you to indicate how many minutes you will be allowing for each attempt. This exam is prepared to be done within 2 hours. So I will enter 120 as the number of minutes that I will allow for this exam. It is important that you indicate the time, because when you do that, the platform itself will begin to count down for the students when they begin to answer the questions. So you will not have to tell anyone, now you have 15 or 20 minutes remaining. The platform will actually be showing them that they have spent so much time and only this many minutes are remaining. I do not usually bother with the password protection, but if you need to, then you can click on that and it will give you the option to put a password. Then you will need to indicate about whether the students will be able to see or not, to see the feedback or not. For final exams, we don't usually show the students the feedback. They receive their grades in their transcript. So for this, you should choose never. And then usually, if you want to grade when the names are hidden, you can click on that, but I would not go into that. I usually won't want to know who I am grading for, because this is a final exam. And when you have done, you have checked those sections. Of course, I won't pick that this activity is not mandatory. No, for a final exam, it's always mandatory. And then you click on the. Having done that, you have entered the questions, the instructions are there, confirm the marks that you have assigned to the questions are in order according to the document that is approved. Then you look at your settings, the settings options, and if you realize you've made a mistake, maybe with the day or with the time, then you can click on edit options, and it gives you the opportunity to go to any of these settings and you can adjust according to the need for that particular exam. And remember, anytime you adjust something, you click on save so that the platform can record that. And then you can exit and wait for the day when the students will log in and do the exam. And that's the end of my demonstration on how we put an exam in the ItsLearning platform. Thank you.